Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Fisher Gears podcast, where we talk about everything from mouse ears to butterbeers. It's Brian and Alan here for episode 52, and for a Walt Disney World trip review with one of our favorite mouse experts, Leslie T. Leslie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but good overall.
I bet you're tired. We kind of talked, before we started recording this about all the miles and everything you put in. So I can only imagine how tired you are. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry that we put this on video this time with you being so tired. And normally we all have a little bit more energy. And, I'm sure as we start getting into it and talking, we'll kind of liven up a little bit. But
Yeah.
other than your trip, how are things going?
Good. The boys were at summer camp and they had a blast and were nice and gross and smelly when we picked them up, but best week of their life. And my daughter spent a week at my mom's, so she was at Grammy camp. So she also had a great week, but she was not smelly. My mom kept that under control. So, but yeah, so everybody's had a good last week or so.
That's good. So was there not a girls' camp, or was it just she's too young to go? Or
she's too young. They just actually changed it to where they go to camp that you can be 6 and go, but the boys didn't go until they were 7. So we've told her that she can't go until she's 7 also, because 6 seems so little to me. I mean, 7 seems little, but 6 is, yeah. So she won't be able to go next summer. It'll be the summer after that she'll get to go.
Nice.
Try to get my kids into it, and they're like, so we don't get to stay at home that whole week? Or we're like, no, you get to stay at a camp or whatever. Like, no, we're out.
Yeah.
All right.
Until they get there, and then it's fun.
Yeah, and the boys both had like a best buddy with them, so I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
it does. That definitely helps.
So, okay. Well, Alan, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks. Kind of avoiding the rainstorms here. We've had a lot of rain coming through Illinois the last few days. We have some water issues in our basement, so that's not always a fun thing. We have to keep on top of it whenever it's raining really bad. But
so are you swimming right now?
Okay. No, we've got it under control, but you do have to really watch. We're always putting towels down, and sometimes you have to get the shop vac out, and it's an interesting thing. So. Too much rain. There's a small lake in the back of our property by where the shed is. So things just don't drain right around here. And it's been that way since we got the house. So yeah, we just got to keep an eye on it and keep track of it. Looks like we're going to have a few days of no rain coming. So things should dry out a bit. That's good. Other than that, doing pretty good. Yeah. Hey folks, in case you missed it in our last episode last week, we were joined by another fellow mass expert. We had Sheena Dave with us, and we wrapped up our Travels in the Air series. We were talking about different activities and things you could do in the car while you're on a long road trip. We had some great ideas for things you can do in the car. Leslie, you've spent some time in the car with your kids. Do you have any great tips that you do on road trips?
Battery packs for your devices.
Oh, yes.
Obviously. And then we call it a tactical wee, because that's what they call it on Bluey, where you make them go to the bathroom right before you leave. Even if they just went to the bathroom 10 minutes ago, everybody has to take a tactical wee, because then it lets you go a little further before you have to stop.
That's a good one. That's good.
Those are our 2 big tips.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I was thinking tactical Wii. I was thinking
the game.
Like that. Yeah.
I was like, do you get a Wii in the back seat of the car? And like, I know we have all those like flipped around TVs in your cars and stuff now. I'm thinking, you got a Wii back there? That'd be great. But yeah, that
would be great too. But no, making them go to the bathroom. We just call it a tactical Wii to make it a little more fun. So
that's funny. Well, we talked about that on the episode last week, that, my mom used to joke with us every time we went somewhere that we just wanted to see every bathroom everywhere we went. We had to see what it looked like. That's the only thing. So yeah, I remember those days.
I don't like public restrooms, so try to avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, they're not always great.
Sheena was talking about all the different places they like to stop and get out and go look at and all that. Yeah. I'm like, I just want to get there.
We do too.
I don't care.
So. Yeah. We drive almost 4 hours to my mom's house, and now we can go without stopping. We just knock it out. And so yeah, we don't like to stop if we don't have to.
Yeah. Sounds like you got your kids well trained.
And that just goes to show, though, that every family is different, right? And everybody's vacation is different. Some people want to stop and enjoy the trip on the way and see things on the way, and some people are like, no, just get me there. I want to get to the destination. That's what's important. So everybody's different. That's okay, right?
Yeah.
That's why you have planners like this that help you plan a vacation that suits your family.
That's
We're gonna
right.
help you out with those ideas.
Yep. So
Perfect.
I did something last week that I was super excited to do because it was the first time I'd done anything like this in over a year.
Mhm.
I went and saw a play. I saw Grease.
You saw a musical.
I saw a musical, and I was just kind of like, "Oh,
I'm
this
so
is
proud."
I know it was. It's a little theater called the Capitol Theater in Lebanon, Tennessee. It's about half an hour away from me. One of my fellow realtors in my office, his wife was in the play, and so we all went to go support her.
Nice.
And I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it really was. Like I was like, it'll be good and everything, but afterwards I was like, oh my goodness, this thing is full of talented people.
Mhm.
And so I was talking to a lot of them afterwards, just kind of, telling them how much I appreciate it, especially after not doing something like this for a year. And then I told them I would name drop them on my podcast because I was like, I'm not above giving people some credit for being talented and doing something that I was like, that was really good. So a couple people I just want to throw out there and just say, if anybody's listening, if you live in Tennessee and you get a chance to go see something that they're in, go do it. This was done by basically college age kids and high schoolers. So I think it was anywhere from like 16 to 22-year-olds that were doing this.
Nice.
Nick Gehring played Danny. Abby Ogin played Sandy. Duty was played by Britton Cole, and he did a phenomenal job with his voice, the guitar. He threw in some backflips. It was a pretty good job. Tessa Gross played Frenchie. Ava Riviera played Jan. Keely Chandler played Marty. Jalen Hunt was a spot-on Eugene. And the minute he talked, I was like, oh, that was perfect for him. Braden Bruce played Vince Fontaine. And then Lisa Graham is my coworker's wife. She played Teen Angel and Miss Lynch. And she had the perfect teacher face throughout the entire thing. And it was just so good. They did a really good job with it. And it was just done by a local group that puts on plays. And so they're actually going to be putting on Beauty and the Beast here, Beauty and the Beast Junior, in July. So we're going to check that one out. But they've also done A Christmas Place, Peter Pan, West Side Story. Britton Cole, I talked about him. He was in Newsies. They've done Mary Poppins. So, they've just done play after play after play. And I was just like, man, y'all are talented and y'all need some extra recognition. So I just wanted to throw them out there because it was, like I said, after not seeing it and doing something like that for a year, it was so nice to have that kind of thing back. So, and to be in the theater, like I said, it was like a 1950s theater that they converted from a movie cinema into a play building. I guess a building where they can do plays. It was so good. And I'm so glad I went and did it because I was like, I don't know if I'll enjoy this or not. I'm not a big musical guy, but it was pretty good.
So have you ever been to like live theater before like that? Like
I have.
style?
So I have seen, of course I've seen all the Disney Broadway plays on the Disney cruises and stuff, but I have seen To Kill a Mockingbird. Gosh, now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of the other ones that I've seen. But yeah, I've seen some others, but I've never seen kids do it. And even though they're in college, I still consider them kids because they don't have a whole lot of experience. But it was well
There's
done.
some pretty talented people out there. Some great local and regional theater you can go see. So that's really cool. Shout out to the locals there. Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah.
I can tell you that when I was in Florida, I used to go every now and then. There's a couple of local community theaters down there that would do some shows. And I had a friend that was in Jekyll and Hyde. It had a secondary role, but it was still, Jekyll and Hyde. So I went to Jekyll and Hyde. And especially down there in like Bradenton, Florida, it's a lot of off-duty cast members. So, it was like, I felt like I was at a Broadway show in this little, set off in the boondocks in Florida. It was pretty cool. There's some great regional. There's a couple little local theaters here in Illinois that I've gone to that are maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour away, that do a great job. I've seen the Addams Family, and I saw Shrek at a couple community theaters here, and they did a really great job. So, yeah, support your local theaters. It's great.
Yeah,
Great to have them back.
yeah. I was in the Wizard of Oz in high school. I was one of the monkeys in the background.
I was in
So-
Bye Bye Birdie
Nice.
in
I
the
was
chorus.
in MASH. I was Radar in MASH.
So I've got a little bit of theater experience.
Yeah.
That on my resume.
Very cool.
We are going to go see The Lion King when it comes to Nashville later on this year. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we took our kids to see that one a couple years ago and they loved it.
Yeah.
It's so cool when they have the big giraffes and stuff walking through the theater. It's
It is really
amazing.
cool. I think Frozen is coming to Chicago next year, so we're looking forward to
It was
that.
supposed to come here last year, but
Yeah.
it didn't for obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
they're trying to get it rescheduled, so hopefully they will. So
Well, speaking of The Lion King, I know Festival of the Lion King is back. And
Mhm.
before we get into talking about your trip and if you saw Festival of the Lion King or not, I have to know before we all started, did my buddy Charles have a good time? Did he have a good trip?
He did.
Okay.
I mean, how could you not have fun in
Well,
Disney
I
and
just-
Universal without your kids? I mean, I love taking my kids, don't get me wrong, but it's a different kind of fun when you get to
It
go
is-
without them, right?
It is. It
Just
is.
wanted to make sure you took care of my buddy. So
I did.
Good.
He asked me why he's not included in our group chat. I said, no, you're not allowed.
You will learn
That's
things about
funny.
Leslie that you probably don't know.
That's right.
Charles.
I'm just like, you're not allowed. You're not allowed in there. So
All right.
We
well,
always have a good
speaking of
time
your
when we get to hang
trip-
out with him too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, but speaking of your trip, let's just
Yes.
start off. And we know it was part of a travel agent research trip that Disney was putting out there. So we won't talk much about that. We just want to know, where did you stay, kind of what you guys did. And I know you did you guys do a split stay?
we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Where'd you
So
stay?
our first night we stayed at Wilderness Lodge. For one night we just had a standard room. We were actually in the handicap accessible room. I guess it was just what they had left. So that's where we were our first night. We were there for a very short amount of time because when we landed, we took the Magical Express, which Charles was not happy about. He does
really?
not like the Magical Express at all, but we took it. And so he would much rather pay for
might be the
an
last
Uber or a
time,
Lyft.
so-
Well, that's what I told him. I was like, we need to do it. Just
Might
we
be
need
the
to. And
last
he was
time.
like, when it was over, he was like, we did not need to do that, which is
I
fine.
miss it when it's gone. You know.
Probably not.
Okay.
So we got there, our room wasn't ready. So we just checked our bags with Bell Services. And then we headed to Beach Club because I had a reservation at Beaches and Cream
Mm.
because I'd never been. So we
That's one
had
of
a
the
late
things I
lunch.
haven't done either. We keep
there.
trying to
I
get over there
know.
when they're on a group. I haven't been able.
Well, I've had to cancel it so many times because we almost always do Epcot on our arrival day because they open so late. And since we get there around noon, they've only been open for an hour at
Yeah,
that point.
exactly.
So it's the perfect park to go to first. And so
Yeah.
we always end up not making it. And we barely made it to this one. We were actually 15 minutes late for our reservation. And they were very nice and went ahead and let us sit down and have our reservation. So we just did a burger and a shake to share because we knew we were headed over to Epcot to eat all of the other.
All the
Food.
snacks and goodies that are
Yeah.
available.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's Flower and Garden, but they still have a lot of great food options.
they
All
do.
those booths
yeah.
are still there.
Yeah. The booths are still there.
Mhm.
All the food is different than when we were there in February for Arts Fest. Like, there's a lot of different options that we didn't have.
Absolutely.
So-
What was the wait like at a Magical Express? I've
The
heard that it's
wait
pretty
was-
long.
So we got there and there was no line to get on. So I was like, see,
Perfect.
like no big deal. It's going to be great. And then we get on the bus and we wait like 20 minutes on the bus for them to get more people on the bus. And then they're like, we've got many stops. Somebody's going to be first. Somebody's going to be last. Don't get upset about it. And I was like, oh, shoot.
Uh,
So we were like the fourth drop, I think. So it took from getting in line to being dropped off, it was about 90 minutes. 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the time you got in
Wow.
line until you got dropped off at the hotel?
Yeah.
That's not too bad reasonable. I mean, they usually say what? For the time you get on the bus, it's usually 45 to 60 minutes.
I guess.
Isn't that
But
what we should say?
I don't think I've
When-
ever been on that long.
when he was like, we could have been here in 30 minutes with an Uber. 90
Well.
seems like a long time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Huh.
it was fine. It was fine.
So
It
where
was
did you
the
stay after
experience,
Wilderness
yeah.
Lodge?
After Wilderness Lodge, we hopped over to the Dolphin, which I'd never stayed there either.
Okay.
So we stayed there and then we were there for 2 nights. So
They actually have some really nice rooms though, right? They're kind of elegant.
we do. Yeah, the room was nice, and we learned a couple of things about that. So even though the Dolphin is on Disney property, like it's not really a Disney property.
That's
We
correct.
kind of all know that, right? So
Correct,
I
yeah.
didn't know if they would transfer our luggage for us.
Mhm.
And so I called down that morning. It was like at 7:30, and I asked, and he was like, I don't know, let me ask. And he was like, hey, so and so, you want to go to the Dolphin today? And the guy was like, yeah, sure, I'll go to the Dolphin. So I guess it is like depends on who you get when you
Or how
call, but
busy
you should
they
always,
are, maybe.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And they were like, yeah, just get your bags down here as soon as you can. And I was like, they'll be down there in like 5 minutes. So always call and ask.
Yep.
And call early would be my suggestion. And then make sure you have, the exact name, because the Dolphin won't take your luggage if it's not the exact name on your reservation.
Okay.
And
Good
then
tip.
they also will not take grocery delivery.
Oh.
Okay.
You have to be there. No
Oh.
matter what, even because you have to be there if you order like wine or something, alcohol. You have to be there for that.
I was going to say, how long did your alcohol sit out or whatever?
Well, and that's the thing, is I hadn't ordered any wine or anything because I just wanted them to deliver it while we were at the parks. I didn't want to worry about it. And I had used the chat feature on the Marriott app to let them know that Wilderness Lodge was delivering our luggage. And then I also said, and our Instacart delivery too. And they were like, we will not accept your grocery delivery. We do not accept grocery deliveries. And I was like, oh,
No,
good to know. So
Guess we'll come back. Good thing you were not at Epcot that day. Where were you?
no, we were headed to Universal that morning. And so I just went in and edited my Instacart delivery and had them move it to the very last delivery window of the day. So it
Okay.
came like when we got back from Hollywood Studios, he was there delivering our groceries. So
Okay.
anyway,
Cool.
those
But it worked.
things I learned.
It's just you
Yeah.
have to be
You
a
just
little
have
more
to be there.
flexible there and be there.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good to know. Good to know for
So-
that. Taking some notes on that one.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you snuck down the street to Universal.
I sure did. I had to go ride that new roller coaster.
What roller coaster?
There's a new
Ha.
roller coaster? What?
Yeah, that Velocicoaster. We had
Brian's
to go.
been
My
on that.
Yeah, my husband's a big roller coaster fan, and he loves the Hulk at Universal Islands of Adventure. It's like his favorite roller coaster. And so when we saw that Velocicoaster was going to be up and running, we were going to make a morning and run over there and do it. And so we did. We hit that one. It said it was going to be 75 minutes. It was like 45 to
Oh,
wait
nice.
in line, so it wasn't bad at all. And then we did Hagrid's motorbike, and then we did the Hulk, and then we left. So
Wow.
we just
All you
hit
gotta do.
we hit the roller coasters. I mean, Islands of Adventure is the best park for roller coasters right now, I think. So
Yeah,
It's a
it
great
really is.
so
coaster.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And I
what's the
love the
verdict?
Velocicoaster. I loved it. I have said it's the best. Charles still thinks the Hulk is his favorite, but I think the Velocicoaster is the best. There's at the end, like you think it's almost over, and then it does like this corkscrew turn.
Yeah,
and
right
it's
there
just
over the
so-
water.
it's so fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
where did
I
you
mean,
sit?
Charles-
Were you front, back, middle?
We were in the middle.
Okay. And you thought it was
Yeah,
pretty
maybe
smooth?
that's fine.
I did. Yeah. I thought it was great.
Very cool.
See, I did the front row.
Did you?
All three times. Well, one time I was on the second row. I think we waited a total of an hour for all three rides because it was during the soft opening, and we got there at one point. Park opened at 9, I think, and we were on the ride at like 9:15 because
Right.
nobody was in line. And the guy was like, "It's going to be the shortest line all day, 5 minutes." And we're like, "Okay." And the front, I think, is the best part you can be on because you see all four raptors when you're going through. I don't know if you can see them, any other part of the train, but just going through is so smooth. And then right there where you talked about where you flip upside down and you like are just going over. I mean, it feels like you can reach down and touch the water. You're so
It
close.
does. It's crazy.
And Charles, I love the Hulk coaster too, and I value your opinion, even if it's wrong. But
I know it's what I said. It's wrong.
But it's one of the best roller coasters I've ever think I've been on. So
It's really good. We laughed when we got off though, because he was like, I don't remember seeing any dinosaurs during the actual ride because you're just like yelling and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, it's so exciting. Like, I'm sure there's great theming on it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's great theming like in the queue, you know, but I'm sure there's more during the ride, but you don't even notice it because it's just
That's
so
what I said.
fun.
In the front row, you notice it because it's like it almost
Coming at
looks
ya.
like they're coming at you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We
so
missed a lot of
it's-
dinosaurs, I
yeah.
think, because
I only remember seeing the 4, and that's because the first time I saw the 2, and they're like, all 4 was on there, and I was like, I only saw 2, so I kept counting each time I got on, and it took the third time to see all 4 of them because it just goes so fast.
yeah.
But there's actually one hill too, Alan. Like if you're sitting there looking at it, you can tell that it has a slight incline in it. But when you're riding it, it feels like you're like getting sucked back in, and you're looking straight down at the ground. And it's so like I don't even know how to describe it because you're just literally like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my, the whole time. And I don't know about you, Leslie, but I felt like I was out of the seat about half the ride.
Yeah. It is so fun. It's such a fun ride.
Yeah,
That's cool.
everybody needs to do it. Even people. So we rode it with Dorothy, and Dorothy was like, "I hate roller coasters," and she's like, "But I'm doing this one." And I mean, she even got off, and she's like, "Oh my god, that is one of the best rides I've ever been on."
Yeah.
So it was.
You just got to be tall enough. That's the problem. My middle
Yes.
one was mad we went without him, and I was like, you would have been tall enough to ride it anyway. So
Yeah. So we're going in October, and I'm like, Abigail's got to grow half an inch by then, so she can ride Hagrid's. I'm not going to let her ride the Velocicoaster or probably the Mummy, but
what is Hagrid's? Is it 48?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and she's tall. She would be tall enough at 48, I think, to do Hulk also. And
No,
no,
Hulk
that's
is-
right. Hulk.
Hulk's 50
Yeah,
something.
that's right. And then there's one of them that's got like a weird number. It's like 51 or something like it. It's a weird inch mark. And I'm like, how would you come up with that one on? But there's one that she would be tall enough to ride, and I was like, you can't. I'm not going to let you ride that one. So we just wanted to be tall enough for Hagrid's.
I remember
I
when
wouldn't let her
Charlotte
do
was
Velocity.
tiny. She was so young, but she was really tall. So she was big enough for Tower of Terror. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And people were like, looked at us like we were crazy that we were taking her. But she loved it. It's probably her favorite ride. But
Yeah. That's
But she
I
was
mean, if they
real
want to do
little.
it, let them do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they have those height restrictions for a reason. As long as they're tall enough.
yeah.
The same thing
They
as
meet
you
safety
getting on.
requirements. Exactly.
Oh. Okay. So
Very
you
cool.
drove the best 3 and then you left.
Yes.
What'd you do after that?
We hustled to get to Hollywood Studios for the 1:00 Rise boarding group drop because we had had park reservations for Hollywood Studios that day, but then we looked at the weather because our initial plan was Hollywood in the morning and then Universal in the evening, but then the weather looked like it was going to rain, and if it rains, none of those roller coasters are going to run. So
Yeah.
we flipped it and we did Universal in the morning, and then we hopped over to Hollywood, barely made it, like strolled through the turnstiles at like 12:57. And then got our we did get a boarding group. And so then we went and had Ronto roasters and hung out in Galaxy's Edge. And I had wanted
That
to
is
go
one
to
of my
Oga's.
favorite snacks over there now. I
It's
love the
so
Ronto
good.
roaster.
It's
The
so
Ronto
good.
wrap. In the
Mhm.
morning, even the
Mhm.
afternoon wrap. I like either one of them. I think the breakfast one is actually better.
So
but
I've never
I
had
like 'em
the breakfast
both.
one, and that was my goal this trip, was to get the breakfast one. But then the rain making us
Yeah.
switch, I didn't get to do it. But I still got to have the one at lunch, which was really good. And
It's
then we
crazy.
wanted
It's
to
such a good little
go.
sandwich, though. Little
It's
snack.
so good. There's apparently a copycat recipe on the internet that you can find and make them yourself. So I'm gonna have to look for it. But what I was gonna say, we wanted to go to Oga's, and I couldn't get a reservation because
Yeah.
you can never get a reservation for Oga's.
It's tough
You
right
just
now.
can't. It's real hard. But I walked up and asked them, and she was like, "Yeah, 5 minutes." And I was like, "Sure, sounds great."
Well, I think that has
Um,
been because the limited capacity. So we know when we were there, even in October and February, they were not sitting other groups at the table. So a table
Right.
that can normally sit like 10 or 12, they're putting one family of like 4 at a table.
Right.
So that seriously cuts the capacity down. And I think now that they're relaxing capacity, I think they're starting to seat more people in there again.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe.
I didn't know. Did you guys get a table by yourself, or how'd you get a table?
We were at the bar, which was fine
Okay, yeah,
because it was just the two of us. And
sure.
we timed it just right because we like got in and it started downpouring.
Mm,
So I was like, we're
perfect.
just gonna hang out in here as long as we can
Mhm.
before we head back out. So
Did you
Well,
get the
and they
fuzzy
did.
tauntaun again?
I
Yeah,
did
did you?
not. No, it's so funny.
Oh,
I got the blue wine because I'd never had the blue wine before. So I
I
got
don't think any of
that
us
and
have had
then
that yet.
yeah, and then Charles asked the bartender and he was like, "Well, have you had this?" And we were like, "Yeah." "Well, have you had this?" "Yeah." "Well, have you?" And
We
he's
were with
like,
a
"How
group.
many
We
times
tried a
have you
lot of
guys been
things.
here?" We're like, "Well, we try something different every time." So Charles tried one of the margaritas and he actually liked it. And he doesn't typically like tequila. So
Very
anyway,
cool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
So when we were there, they told us there used to be a 45-minute limit. I think there's still a 45-minute limit on how long you can sit
Yeah, there
because they
is.
want people to be able to get in and out because it's such a small facility. But it
Right.
used to be I think a 2-drink max. And I
Hmm.
think now they've gotten rid of the 2-drink max. Now they're like, hammer as many as you want in 45 minutes. We're good.
Yeah.
So
We did not do that. We did not meet our max.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, it's just interesting to know for guests if if you want to
yeah,
try as many things as you can in those 45 minutes. Apparently now you
you
can.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, they're down for
Yeah.
it.
Yep. So you mentioned that you guys got there, try to get there by 1 o'clock for the Rise of the Resistance Sporting Group. Why
Yes.
is that? Because some people may not know.
Okay. So you have to have a park reservation and there's 2 drops. One's at 7 a.m. and you can do that from anywhere. I mean, you could be across the state and you could still get your boarding pass at 7 a.m. But at 1 o'clock, you have to be in the park.
Hmm.
So that's why we were hustling to get back. You have to be in the park. And it's funny, we were in line and for Rock and Roller Coaster with a lady, and she was like, "Yeah, we couldn't get a park pass, but we were really hoping that there'd still be boarding groups when we could pop over here at 2 because you can't park hop until 2." And I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
"No,
how it works. That's why they did it that way. You have to be
yeah,
in the
Yeah.
park at 1.
yeah, you have to have a park reservation and you have to be in the
Yep.
park at 1 o'clock." And it's funny, like at 1 o'clock after we got it, you could see like large groups of people leaving because I guess
Leaving.
they didn't get their pass and they were like, "All right, we're done with this place for the day." So
Yep.
Well, and
I've
I wonder
noticed
if
that
people
was
still think. I wonder if people still think they can get 2. Maybe they can get it at 7 and try again at 1. And if they didn't get it at 1, then they leave.
oh, they might. I don't
That
know,
might
but you
be.
can't.
No,
You
you can
cannot
only
do
get 1 a
that. So
day per person.
yeah.
But I did get an interesting little tip recently. I did hear that towards the end of the evening, if all the boarding groups have been called and the attraction is still running, you may be able to go by and ask, and they might let you in.
Oh, like if they've actually been efficient, not had any breakdowns and things like that.
Correct. Yeah, if they've
Yeah,
gotten
I
through
could
all the
see
boarding
that.
groups and they're still cycling, they may just let people walk in.
That's cool. That's a good idea to just hop over. I
Yeah,
mean, and
It
stuff
like
at the
is.
end of the night.
it
Can't hurt.
never hurts to ask.
Can't hurt to ask.
Never hurts to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have clients who checked in today. They were checking into a Little Mermaid room at Art of Animation and text me to tell me that they are now showing them in a Little Mermaid. I'm sorry, not a Little Mermaid, but a Lion King family suite, and wanted to know if they were going to get charged for that.
Ooh.
And I said, no, that would be magical pixie dust. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Yeah, no
You better
Happy
hope
check-in
you don't
day.
get charged.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, happy. Enjoy your check-in. I'm like, I hope Lion King's okay. They have 2 little girls. They were kind of looking forward to Little Mermaid. I'm like, hope Lion King's okay.
I'm sorry, with 2
Like,
little girls, you are gonna not care that it's Lion King. You are gonna be so happy you're in that family suite.
I thought so too. Yeah,
So
I
happy.
think they'll like it. I think they'll like it.
Yep.
Yeah,
A
pixie
lot
dust before
closer.
we get there. Gotta like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but I've noticed, Leslie, you mentioned people leaving at 1 o'clock if they didn't get the boarding group. I've noticed that a lot of people leave right around lunchtime or so because they don't get that 1 o'clock boarding group, or they've already ridden it and then they've done Tower of Terror and Slinky Dog also, and they're like, okay, we're done, we're out.
Right.
We can hop.
So
Well, and the other thing is the Rise of Resistance second drop used to be at 2 o'clock. But when they brought back park hopping at 2 o'clock, they changed that time back to 1 o'clock on purpose.
Hmm.
So you have to be in the studios to get it.
and I love that.
So, yeah.
Like, I absolutely love that.
It just
Yeah.
keeps it fair for the people that are there to try and do it.
Right.
If that's your reservation for the day, you should have the first choice of trying to get into there.
Yeah, it's
And
so
that's-
nice that you get a second chance.
Yeah, and that's always been my biggest thing about Rise of the Resistance and the way that you do it. Like, if you're a season pass holder and you're not even planning on going to the park that day, and you just wake up and say, "Oh, maybe I'll go ride Rise of the Resistance," and get a boarding group, and then I actually have tickets at a park reservation to that park and want to go, and I get there and I don't get a boarding group, like, I don't feel like that's fair to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the way they've done the 1:00 one.
Have to be in the park.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's fair.
Okay.
Good
So
job.
you did Epcot
Yes.
and you did Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
Did you do Animal Kingdom?
We did. Yeah. So on Thursday, which was our last, so we did 2.5 park days, which I would never recommend for a first time person that's going, right? We have
Not enough
been
time.
we have been many times, and we know what we want to hit and what we want to see. So it's fine for us, but I would never suggest that for somebody on their first trip. 2.5 days is not enough, not even close.
No.
No. So for our last, and it was our full day, got up early and went to Animal Kingdom in the morning. Charles was determined that instead of going left to Pandora, we were going to go right to Asia and ride Everest as many times as we could.
Yep.
And we rode it like 3 times in 30 minutes. And that counts the line and getting on and off and back on. And by the third time, I was like, I cannot do it again.
I'm tapping
I'm
out.
done. I was like, if you want to go without me, that's fine. I will sit right here and wait for you, but I am done. So, and I love Everest is such an underrated roller coaster, I think, an underrated attraction at Walt Disney World overall, I think, because it's such a good ride. It's so fun.
Was single rider open?
No, it wasn't that morning. Probably because the line was so short, there was no reason for it to be at that point. They would not let us wait to be in the front row because I did ask, and he was like, "It's already full. You're in number 5." And I was like, "You're not being very magical, but okay, thank you." So I don't know. A lot of things can be cast member dependent.
Yeah.
So perhaps if we had had a different cast member, he would have let us. But this one was like, it's full row 5. And I was like, okay. And I didn't ask until our third time. And then I was like, I can't do it again. I'm sorry. So.
Because there's usually like
next,
an area they have you step to the side and wait.
Yeah, usually, but they were not. And I know during all of this with COVID protocols, they have not been letting you do that. Yeah. But I thought I had seen other people have done it, like at Magic Kingdom for Big Thunder and things like that. So I thought that they would let us, but he was not game. So it's fine.
We did the same thing. We when Alan and I went, we took off to the right and we did Dinosaur and then Everest twice. We did something else before.
By like the time the park opened. Yeah.
Yeah. And then because we kept watching the wait times for Flight of Passage, and they were about the same throughout the entire day. So we were like, we're saving ourselves time by going right and doing this, because we knew it was going to be long no matter what time we went to Flight of Passage.
Yeah. So they're not letting you in really before park opening anymore. So
yeah, they've gone back to the rope drop procedures, right?
Yeah. So like we got there, and I knew that, so we didn't try to get there super early. We got there, they opened at 8 and we got there at like 7:50, and they were letting people in then, and probably had been for a few minutes because it wasn't like all congested and stuff. But like when we got over to Everest, the line was like non-existent, so people hadn't been getting in for very long. So that's kind of a bummer. But we did do Everest 3 times, and then the Cali River Rapids once in like an hour, like did that in an hour. I'd never done the water ride at Animal Kingdom before until this trip. So
wet were you? I
wore my raincoat.
Okay. So you were prepared
so I was
for it.
fine.
You were prepared for it.
I wore my raincoat.
Charles?
He got lucky. Like he wasn't bad at all. Like
okay.
He got lucky. We were on our little boat. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah.
With like 8 teenage girls there on their junior trip. So it was him and all these girls, and he was like, great. And they some of them really got wet, and they were, squealing and yelling, but was still fun.
That one is
Very
fun.
cool.
It was closed last time we went though, so we didn't
Yeah.
get to do it. So
Well, and it wasn't showing that it was open, but we walked past it and it was like 5-minute wait and people were queuing up. So I was like, let's go get in line. And it started moving right away. And then after we got off of it, it popped up on the app for wait times. But before that, it wasn't showing up. So they were having problems, so weren't going to open it, and then did. I don't know.
Did you notice if Primeval World, anything has been done with it?
it's gone, isn't it?
Nothing's happening.
I know the trains are supposedly gone, the little swirling trains. We've seen them stacked on a flatbed on pictures being removed.
Yeah.
I wondered if they had done anything with the actual track or anything yet.
I don't
Just
know. We didn't go
curious.
over there because I hate dinosaurs, so we didn't even go. It's too rough for me. Hurts my
It's
left
not
my
one of my
back.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of
Yeah.
my favorite rides. I'll do it if people want to go, but it's not on my must-do list by any means.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a cute area.
One and
but yeah.
done. My
Yeah.
whole family's done it, so we don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
My kids can take it or leave it, so we will leave it. So
My niece,
what
the youngest niece, is all about dinosaurs, so we had to take her to do it, and then she didn't really like it. So,
what was the Flight of Passage wait like?
it was awful.
okay.
I'm not even kidding. So, like we got there and it was showing 75 minutes and we were like, yeah, whatever. That's what it always is. Right.
Yeah.
Well, we had done everything we wanted to do and it said 85 and we were like, okay, it's fine. Let's just,
Anything
last
under
thing we
90
want-
minutes for them is
yeah,
not too bad.
we were like, yeah, let's do it. So we went ahead and we got in line 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the only thing of the whole trip. Everything was under what it said, like by many minutes, right?
Yeah.
Under what it said. Like if it said 40, it was 20. If it said 20, it was like 8. This said 85, it was 115.
Ouch.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer. But I mean, I wanted to do it. So
It is a pretty cool attraction. You kind of have to do that one at least once on your trip, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of high on the list.
But it made me, I did regret like not going there first because of that. But like, I just wonder if something would happen, happened with the ride because there was a large amount of time where we were not moving. And usually those queues, they flow, like you may be in line for a long time, but you feel like you're constantly going towards you're constantly moving towards your goal. And there was a big chunk of time where I was like, we haven't moved. So I don't know what happened.
There could have been one of those cleaning scenarios where they stopped to clean everything.
Or somebody vomited or,
Yeah.
things happen.
Code V.
Was the line still backed up to Lion King?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, it was, so the bridge that you can take over into Africa, they had it like curved back into Pandora. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Halfway in and out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're having it curved back in. So the whole line was in Pandora. Kind of like just snaked around everywhere. So
I noticed that was one thing that held the line up when we were there is they kept letting people cross through the line. And so they would sit there and they'd say, okay, hold on. And then they'd keep that part stopped for a while.
Yeah.
And then you would open it up and then you would move for a good ways.
Right.
And then they would stop the line again. So that kind of held things up. But I was like, it's a big land, but it's not really a big land. I mean, there's 2 attractions, a couple restaurants and a shop. But there's all these little trails that just kind of wander all the way through and everything. So it's really hard to navigate those queues throughout that thing if you're not using the entire thing, which I don't know if they are or not. But until recently, I've never even seen that queue. I always had the fast pass queue that I went through. So
I know. Well, and that's the reason we didn't get to do Festival of the Lion King because the plan was to do it at 12:30, and then that. We couldn't make it. Yeah, we got stuck in the queue. And at that point I was like, well, I'm not going to leave now because I've been in this line for an hour and a half. Like I'm not bailing out now.
Right.
And then the next show wasn't until 3:30 and we had wanted to be in Magic Kingdom by then. So
Did you
missed
see any
it.
more characters around? Are they still doing the flotillas?
They're still doing the floats at Animal Kingdom. We did see those roll through. I didn't see any cavalcades at Epcot, but it was also pouring down rain for a large percentage of the time we were there, so that probably might be why.
I
That one's
think the
very
only
hit or
Um,
miss anyway.
I think the only one they're doing at Epcot right now is the Princess one
Well,
through
we
Future
didn't see
World.
it.
The Mickey
They're
and
not doing
Friends,
the
I think
Frozen.
well, I think they were with the princesses typically.
They just had them all together.
So
Yeah.
when we were there, they had Frozen by themselves,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it went from Norway to shoot, right across the bridge, I think. And then the Mickey one turned right around Japan, I believe.
I think the Mickey one they've stopped doing because they're having Mickey and the characters in up in between Spaceship Earth and the entrance turnstiles behind some of the hedges. So they're socially placed at a distance up in the front of the park. So I think they've been doing that instead of the cavalcade with them at Epcot. And I've seen more characters out at Hollywood Studios in, characters in the planters and things like that, in areas where they're kind of pulled away still, but more characters out in the park lately, which I think is kind of good.
We didn't see a ton, but it was raining off and on pretty much every day we were there. So
it had a bad week for rain down there, I heard.
Well, I don't mind the rain because people leave.
It makes the crowds a lot lighter.
And if you're at a park where most of the attractions are indoor and not affected by rain, then, I don't mind it. Like we rode Space Mountain a couple times. When we were at Epcot, we rode Soarin' many times. Like, so I don't mind it. But I mean,
I have seen Moana and a couple other new ones up there at the train station recently.
Oh, have you? Yeah, we saw the Dapper Dans singing, and they did which I'd never seen them before, when they do, like, they bring the flag down to fold the flag up for the night.
Oh, the flag retreat.
I've never seen that either.
Yeah, I'd never seen it. We got lucky and happened to be down there to see it. So they sing the national anthem and they bring the flag down and fold it up into the triangle. So we got to see that, and then there was like a band, like a marching band, but it was all little old guys.
Really?
Yeah, so I've not seen that one.
Yeah, Charles and I were like,
"What's?"
No, well, unless they've stacked them with old gentlemen, which maybe they have.
A lot of the senior folks right now.
Yeah, I was like, cool, cute little old guys playing the trombone, and so that's all. That's all we saw, though. We didn't see anybody else.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I was interested about the Animal Kingdom, the Festival of the Lion King, because we noticed that they've taken some things out.
Yeah.
But other than the monkeys, I watched, one of my clients posted a video of it, and I couldn't really tell much that had changed.
Yeah.
But then again, I haven't seen it in over a year, so I was like, I don't remember exactly what the whole show was anyway. But it still looks like a really good show.
Yeah, the tumble monkeys are out, and I believe the aerialist, the birds that fly, they still do a number, but I don't think they're flying.
Yeah. I
think that's the only real differences right now. And then, like, they're not pulling people out of the crowd. The kids in the finale and things like that. But other than that, I think most of the show is about the same from what I've seen as well.
Yeah. So it looked pretty good.
And so
Saturday,
briefly, the dolphin rooms.
Yes.
Would you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, they're very nice. Look like they've been recently.
They had,
if not renovated, they look really. They're very nice. The beds were super comfy.
Like the last year and a half, I think they've all been renovated for 2 years.
Yeah, they have a little mini fridge, and they have a coffee pot. Our travel coffee cups didn't have lids, which I found weird and annoying, but not enough so to like do anything about it. But yeah, it was a pretty room. The lobby's very nice. We did do room service from there one night when we got back late and were cold and didn't want to go back out. And the food was really good. The room service was really tasty. So
I've heard good things about it, and I've we've toured the resort and we've heard good things about it. It's a pretty resort. It's kind of elegant. You don't get some of the perks of staying on Disney property. It's kind of on Disney property, but it's not a Disney resort technically.
Yeah.
So you kind of get some of the perks, but not all of them. So
Yeah, I
it's a good
wouldn't
option though.
stay there. Like, it's a great place to stay for your Epcot Hollywood Studios days.
Mhm.
I wouldn't stay there on a Magic Kingdom day if I was up for resort hopping, because the bus that they take to Magic Kingdom doesn't actually take you to Magic Kingdom. It takes you
To
to the transportation,
TTC.
and then you have to take the ferry.
Mm. Yeah.
So, so that's a
One of
bummer.
the non-Disney
You
resort
want to,
perks.
yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, here's the Magic Kingdom. We were writing it, and Charles was like, where are we going? And I was like, oh, shoot, I should have known this.
TTC.
Bad travel
Oh, well.
agent.
I will say that to me, the best Disney perk that the Swan and Dolphin has is that it's walkable to Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
For sure. Like,
Yeah.
I
Or
would,
at
I
least
would
walkable
definitely
to
stay
the
there.
just walkable to the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios.
Oh, we walked
and
from
that's
Hollywood
kinda-
Studios, and it was no big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I just think
yeah,
on the way back, it's like if you're hot and tired and everything, just
Yeah.
take the Skyliner. But walking there in the morning, it's not a bad walk at all.
yeah, I would definitely stay there again for a Epcot Hollywood Studios day. But
Very cool.
You mentioned the Flower and Garden.
Yes.
How was the food? I know you guys like to eat all the
Um,
snacks.
oh yes, we had so many snacks. Trying to think what was our favorite. Probably the lobster salad at the citrus place. I can't think of what it's called right now, but that was really good. I can pull up my notes and tell you what all we ate, because we ate a ton of stuff.
I
We of
noticed a lot
course,
of the topiaries were about the same as they were in the past, but they still are
yeah,
just so
they're so cute.
beautiful.
Like the one with the pandas, it's probably my favorite, because they just look, it's amazing how they just look so sweet and cuddly, and they're a plant, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
They do
So
look
yeah,
really fuzzy though.
yeah, they're so cute. But
I like the Muppets. I think the Muppets are good.
yeah. We always get the violet sake in Japan. It's like one of my favorite
Mm.
favorite things to get, but it's there always. It's not festival specific, so you can get
Yeah.
that any time of the year. But the lobster salad was really good. What else? Oh, the pork belly was good. So much food.
I think we had the pork belly last time we were there.
This one was on with citrus braised crispy pork belly with kumquat and carrot, and it was
I don't
good.
think I had that one because I would not have
Yeah,
eaten
and then
kumquat. So
so it was the Meyer lemon poached lobster salad with grapefruit rosé vinaigrette, and it was really good. It was really good. We had the spicy hot dog. It was so
Really?
spicy. Like my mouth was like burning.
where was that one?
Where was that one? At the hot dog place. It was at the pineapple booth, the one that has the pineapple sparkling wine. That's not very good. I wouldn't get the wine, but the hot dog was good. But get a bottle of water. So.
We tried at the Festival of the Arts. There was like a champagne with the colored boba ball things in it.
Oh, I had that one too, and it was disappointing. Yeah.
It was. I wouldn't get that one again.
I just think I just like regular champagne. I don't need people to mess with it. You don't need to put pineapples in it or boba balls. Like,
but even the champagne in that one was like, yeah, we got one to share and nobody else would finish it. I had to do it.
You can't waste it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't waste it.
Yeah.
Alcohol abuse.
Costs too much.
Alcohol abuse.
Yeah, it does cost too much. I know. Like the food, I'm like, I don't really like it, but I'm gonna eat it.
They just need an all you can eat and all you can drink pass. Like you pay $100 a day to all you can drink and all you can eat all around Epcot, and then just
they would
Charles
lose
said,
money.
this is a really expensive cover charge to come in here and eat at all these places. And I was like,
Right?
yeah, it is. It's a high cover charge. But we had our little popcorn bucket, our refillable popcorn bucket, and we refilled it in Canada with the maple popcorn. I don't know if you've ever done that.
Oh,
So the maple
no.
popcorn, you can do it. You can put it in your little I'm using my hands like people can see me talking.
They can.
They
We're on
can.
YouTube, remember?
Oh, that's right. So my popcorn bucket, I could go get it if you'd like to see it. But yeah, you can refill it with the maple popcorn in Canada. And they're so funny. They're like, now this is the maple popcorn. And I'm like, yes, I know. That's what I'm here for. But I guess people go and then they're disappointed that they got maple popcorn. I don't know. It's delicious. If you've never had it, I highly recommend getting it in Canada.
Yeah.
The only place you
Good
can get it.
deal.
Yep.
Good deal. So, well, it sounds like you guys had an amazing trip, even though it was
Yeah.
only 2.5 days. So
I know. You can do a lot in 2.5 days if you plan for it.
yes,
Yes,
you really
gotta have a
can.
plan.
But as you said, though, 2.5 days, it takes 2.5 days to just do Magic Kingdom if it's your
Yep.
first time. So
Yeah.
you got to definitely plan it out right. But I mean, so we can talk all day long with you, Leslie, and we absolutely love having you on. But we do have some Disney news we need to get to. Disney is, we talked a lot about everything last episode that has been going on with Sheena, but we had some things sneak in on us. And one thing that I didn't completely forgot about until you mentioned the hot dog, we have Casey's Corners coming back pretty soon. So kind of excited about that, about getting the little hush puppies, or not hush puppies, the corn dog puppies or whatever. But that's just me because I love the corn dogs. And it's the best hot dog on Disney property. It really is. But we have some contemporary news, don't we?
Yeah, the Contemporary Tower is renovating their rooms with an Incredibles theme. So that's exciting. You can look for the pictures online. Disney Parks blog should have them. And they look great. They look so good. I love
They're
that Edna
incredible.
is, they are incredible. That Edna is featured prominently because she's amazing. But yeah, they
Yes.
look great.
Well, you can't have a stylish room without the stylist from the movie.
Correct.
So,
It's
Exactly.
very true. Yes, darling. Is that what she always says?
Yes.
And they did it just like they've done the Poly and all the other renovated rooms lately. It's just classy. It's not like throwing up Disney all over you. So there's just little things here and there that just make it seem, that as an
Hints
incredible
of
touch to it.
theming. Yeah, hints
Yeah.
of theming.
Yes.
Pops here and there. It's not overly done. He said, I think that looks pretty cool too. I actually kind of like
Yeah.
it. So all 9 floors of the tower are currently under renovation. They will all be completely done by the time the 50th anniversary hits in October. So all of that will be done, and then they'll move into the garden wing once all 9 floors of the tower are complete. So kind of
And
cool.
I've never been a big tower person. Like I've never really had the desire to stay there. But this might give me the reason to go and stay in one of the rooms.
Yep.
To go check out the theming.
Yeah, I've never stayed in the Contemporary. We've stayed at Bay Lake, but not in the actual
We
Contemporary.
were just looking at a
so.
Bay Lake room too for a trip next March. Thinking about going.
Yeah, I liked it. If you can do the theme park view, you should do it because it's so fun.
Yeah, we were trying to decide between like Bay Lake Tower and a couple other options, and we were like, we've never actually done Bay Lake Tower. Haven't done the Contemporary. That's
That
a nice
walk
one,
to
but-
Magic Kingdom in the morning is so nice.
Yeah.
It really is. It's not so the Grand Floridian walk. I
It's a
know a
long
lot of people
walk.
haven't had a chance to do that. It's a long walk. Like I did it myself, and it was at least 20 minutes. Don't recommend that one at all. It's a nice walk, but not to Magic Kingdom.
It's possible, but
yeah,
not like
the Contemporary
not like the
walk is a lot better.
Oh yeah, it's much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So then we have a couple other things we want to point out. Ohana is reopening on July 9th, just shortly after this video drops. So good to know about that. Reservations are now available. When they put out the new family style menu, when they mentioned that Ohana was going to reopen, buffets are not back yet. It is family style, so we'll be coming to your table. When they put the new menu out, they said that they were bringing in rice instead of the Ohana noodles. But they have already said the Ohana noodles have been re-added to the menu. So
There was a
people spoke
uprising.
up.
People were mad.
people were like, "What? No noodles?" Apparently, I've not had the Ohana noodles, but apparently it is a fan
They're
favorite.
so good. Yeah.
Yes,
And
so
I
the
am
noodles are
here
back.
for the family style no buffet. I will keep
Yes.
that all day long.
Yeah.
I will always just bring it to me. Don't make me go get it myself. But yeah, the noodles are
It'll be-
so important.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast will have the traditional breakfast family style menu options, and then lunch and dinner. No characters at the moment with that one, but the musicians will be there for dinner. So strolling musician. Great to see that coming back to the Polynesian on July 9th. Um, End of July, we don't have an official date yet. Polynesian will be reopening. Hopefully the monorail station will be reopening soon. I have seen some videos of the entry in the port cochere that's going on. They've made a lot of progress in a few weeks on the front of the Polynesian. So hopefully that comes along pretty quickly there too.
Yeah. So the breakfast has always been family style. So I'm
Mhm.
completely okay with them keeping the dinner family style. I'm like you, Leslie. It's bring it to me. I don't want to get up. Plus, I don't like buffets. I'm actually excited to see the Tusker House family style
Yep.
menu and the
Mhm.
pictures of the food. It looks really, really good. Also,
I just don't think it should be classified as a table service if I have to get up and get my own food.
That's kind of true. That is
yeah,
kind of
drop
true.
the price
It's
a little
buffet,
bit
right?
too. Like,
Yeah, if I'm serving myself,
yeah,
just saying.
yep. So
I found out recently that an old cast member that I used to work with in Magic Kingdom West, back when we worked at Tiki's, Country Bears, Big Thunder Mountain Haunted Mansion, she has returned to Walt Disney World, and she's actually working at Tusker House now as a seating hostess. So kind of excited to go back and say hi to Marianne.
Yeah.
So shout out to Marianne over at Tusker House. See her, say hi.
if I'm not on the list, will she put me on the list?
I don't know. We'd have to ask. We could ask. That's all we can do is ask, right? Never hurts to ask.
And
Never
name
know.
drop.
Mr. Smith.
Do you know
Yeah.
my friend Alan?
From those old Magic Kingdom West days,
Yeah.
way back when.
He's got a podcast now. He's big time. You should let me go and sit down.
Gave you a shout out too, right? Imagine that. That's funny. Anyway, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We want to thank everybody for watching, tuning in, and appreciate you guys. Feel free to comment on any things you can think of that you want to know about coming up in any future episodes. What's going on at Disney World that you have questions about right now. We'll happily answer those for you. Be sure to catch us next time as we get inspired by the upcoming Olympic Games and we begin a new series highlighting Epcot and the World Showcase. So lots of great things going on around World Showcase. And as always, we're here to help answer all your Disney Universal questions and help get you prepared for that next magical vacation, wherever it may be. And if you enjoyed the show and you think you know somebody else who may enjoy it as well, please feel free to share this episode with them, like and subscribe, because that helps us out a whole lot. Make sure you're always in tune whenever we drop a new episode. And again, as always, we want to hear from you. So leave us a comment or send us an email. All of our contact details and information are all available in the show description. Leslie, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate having you on. It's always great. You always bring us great information.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
So I was hoping for a little photo video bomb from Charles, but I guess I'll have to wait for next time.
He's putting the kids to bed, so he's on daddy duty right now. So
well, as always, we want to end our episode with a quote. And so, Leslie, we have the quote for you this time.
all right. A little consideration, a little thought for others makes all the difference. And that is Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
That's right.
One of my favorites.
I didn't realize he said anything other than "oh bother." Like I really didn't.
I love Eeyore.
I do too.
Thanks for noticing me.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was really good. That was good, Alan.
Yours great.
Thank you again, Leslie. It's always nice having you on, and especially when you get to go and you get to talk about people's most recent trips, because there's so much changing all the time, and it's funny. Like, so you did a lot of things that Alan and I have never done, and it's good to see all the differences because we can't talk to people about the the champagne or some of the maple popcorn. Like we've never done that, so that's pretty cool. And we do have another one that is in the works with one of our past people that we've had on, Nick. We're thinking about having him come on when he gets back from Disney World and doing a pop-up trip review with him as well, just to kind of see what he's done. So he's taken his friends or his kids and his wife. Last time I think he went with some friends. So it's going to be good to get his opinion on it as well. And but again, thank you as always for jumping on. We love having you, and it's always fun.
Anytime.
So,
thanks.
And I'm excited about the World Showcase one. I love the Olympics.
I do too, so much. I'm so excited about the Olympics.
Yeah, we were just talking about the other day. We were like, what kind of fun is there in Summer Olympics as opposed to the Winter Olympics? What's the difference? What do you like to watch?
You run a lot more.
That's true.
We watch all the gymnastics. We've had it on the Olympic channel all weekend, actually, watching the trials. We watched the men's gymnastics trials today. And then my oldest is a swimmer, so we watched the swimming trials too. So we love the Olympics in this house. I forced it on everybody.
Very cool.
It's great. And this gave us a reason to talk about the World Showcase. So it's just going to tie it in and get us ready for the Olympics. So
perfect.
I'm excited. So again,
right.
Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you for listening to it. And we will catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.